Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Well, Sean, got the news that football season going to be rolling around in October this year. So kind of take us through that process of getting to the point where we are today.
Yeah, when we got cut loose here, I guess around March, and everything was kind of up in the air, and then I guess we went from having no season to moving to the spring, and now we've had a chance to come back and be able to play in the fall. Kicking our season back to October, which I think all the coaches in our league, and I know the players, they all want to get our season in. And we as coaches prepared for two seasons. We looked at kind of treating this semester, the fall semester, as a spring type of period, and then then looking at the springtime being a fall, playing games and that type thing. So we've had two different plans, but getting the kids back here for school and starting classes and everything, and then getting them back in the swing, because we didn't have that spring practice to go through, and so a lot of them are going to be rusty. But I think it was a great idea to have them where at least we had 6 weeks of practice, to get ourselves ready before we actually played a ball game.
So what are going to be some of your early goals to get ready for the October, since you didn't have that spring?
Well, I think the first couple weeks, we've got an acclimatization period. We got to be out in just helmets for 3 days. Basically just shorts and t-shirts for 3 days, helmets for a couple of days, and then you put on pads, and it's kind of a gradual process. But really, what I've really thought about is just treating it just like a spring practice, where we're going to go out there from day one and start reteaching everything. And I think because you don't feel like you're under the gun with only having those, in the past, those 22 practice opportunities before you play. And so you feel like you got to just be real fast at getting everything in. But take our time, show them where we want them to go, where to line up, where to be, and really special teams. And so when you really start getting your physical work in, most of the mental stuff hopefully is they've got. So that's probably going to be our plans first couple weeks, be able to just work on ourselves, and then we'll get into some competition stuff, and then probably the last week and a half, kind of like we normally would, start preparing for our first opponent, when it gets closer to game week. But not playing in the last Thursday of August and all of September is going to be a little bit weird. So, but I think it's going to give the kids a little more time to be off. Not have to practice so many times on the weekend like we normally would, and kind of give them a little time to get away and all those things like that. So I think that's going to be kind of our plan moving forward.
Well, if there's ever a season that you would want to have more sophomores coming back than freshmen coming in, this would be that season, and that's kind of the case for you. You've got a core of sophomores coming in, mixed with a really, really good recruiting class of freshmen. Yeah,
really missed spring. That was going to be one of our key. We were looking forward to spring as coaches, because last year I think we had 5 linemen, period, 3D linemen and 2 O linemen. This year we were going to have 9 and 8, and kind of reminds us of the spring we had when Dan and Terry and those guys were coming in their sophomore year. We had enough to actually practice and have a spring game, and that was really what we were looking forward to. But as a coach, you want them to have that couple of months window there to get in the weight room and everything, and that's when we were really getting after that part of the time. And then then once it happened after spring break, we didn't come back. So hopefully we can get these new guys caught up pretty quick in that, in the time that we do have. But going to rely on those sophomores, because they've been in the ball games, they know what it's going to be like, and they know, and it's like every year, it seems like forever before it gets here, and then you look up and the season's gone. So it'll be really a lot quicker this year, just with playing our 6 division games. But we got to be ready to go. We can't have any mess ups, and don't get a lot of opportunities, and to get those get those games in.
Well, I know it's a long way to October right now, but talk about some of your sophomores that you're going to be leaning on coming in this season.
Yeah, got a lot of production back. Lost Clark Mills, lost Hiram. Those are a big punch offensively last year, but feel like we got some capable receivers back. Barry Flowers was a first-team All-State guy last year, all region. that did a lot of production for us. Quay Davis, that's going to play a multiple role for us this year, running back, receiver type guy. A lot of offensive linemen back, but always going to be the question mark of who the quarterback is, and I think we've got a couple of guys there that are going to be vying for that position, and the good thing is we've got a lot of practice time now to get them back to where we need to get them to. R.J. Wilson came on last year, Jamarcus Qualls came on last year in our running back position, so excited about the offense just because of we're probably older on that side of the ball than we're on defense, but defensively, last year I think we were 10 out of 10. None of our D linemen ever taken a snap in a college game, and I think we got 8 of those 10 back. Or maybe 9 of those 10. We lost, only 1 last year with Shaquille. And then linebacking core, going to count on Corley Hooper, Keaton Cager, those guys that played a lot for us last year as the season went on, especially. So those guys have got to pick up where they left from. And then defensive back wise, you got Peyton Ray back, who we got a lot of mileage out of last year in the secondary. Ralph Dunn from Pontotoc, who played a lot for us. So, those guys are going to be key. And then breaking in a new kicker this year, but we got our punter and our snapper back again. So hopefully a lot of continuity goes on from a lot of those positions. But it'll be a wait and see game before we till we get them out there to get them going for sure.
That's home. That's just like the Ravens. That's just like Pahokee, Florida. That's my second home. I got my degree from there, my first degree, college degree. It's part of my heart, it's part of my soul, it's part of my spirit. And, it's everything. Itawamba Community College, baby, it's everything. It shaped me up to being a great man because it was part of the journey of me becoming the young man I am today. And it's home, man. That's it. Like, I can go there and lay my head down without no problems. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
All right, Barry, so it's been an interesting ride for you heading into your sophomore season. You didn't have spring practice. You go from playing in the fall to the spring, now back to playing in the fall. So what's that been like for you?
It's been hard knowing that we couldn't come together as a team in the spring and get our practices in like we usually do. But we're just going to have to come together and find a way to do what we can with this pandemic going on, so see what we can do this season.
All right, so last season, we saw you guys grow a lot from game 1 to the end of the year. And, of course, the end of the year, got that big win over the number 2 team in the country at their own field. What was the biggest thing that you took away from last season during that growth?
That we got to find a way to come together early this year, knowing that we only got 6 games. Because last year, I think we waited too long to pick up the pace and come together as a team and find a way to win games. So we just got to come out early and strong this year.
All right, what are some ways that you can do that this season?
Taking it day by day, practicing hard with everybody, sophomores, being leaders, and telling the freshmen, this ain't high school, so you got to come in ready and be ready for those college games. It's a different experience.
All right, so now that you're a sophomore, how are you embracing your role as a leader for these incoming freshmen? You had a lot of guys last year that helped you as a freshman, so how are you going to help them kind of adjust to this style of play?
Well, for one, to pick up the slack, any flaws or any mistakes they got going, any questions they have, all the sophomores can tell them what to be looking forward and going into the practices and games, so they'll be ready for it.
All right, my last question is, what are your expectations this season?
Playing every game with a chip on our shoulder. We only have 6 games this season, so we got to play every game like it's our last, go hard, and hopefully extend it to more than 6 games, make it to the playoffs, and do what we need to do.
All right, so it's been an interesting ride heading into your sophomore season. You didn't have spring practice. You went from playing in the spring back to playing in the fall. So what's that been like for you and maybe some of the other guys you've talked to on the team?
You don't know what's going to happen. So the best we could do is do what we could at home. A lot of the weight room's been closed for a bunch of guys. Luckily, I've been able to get in the weight room. But one thing that we could have done is run. So a lot of us come back in shape. So, right now we're playing the 6-game schedule, so that's all we can think about. That's all. We're just going to be ready for those 6 games. And if they change it, they change it. If not, we'll be ready.
All right, well, last season we saw you guys really grow as a team throughout the season from start to finish. And, of course, the year ended by beating the number 2 team in the country on their own field. So what was the biggest thing that you learned during that growth last season?
I just think speed of the game for one. Coming out of high school, you got to learn the speed of the game. For two, getting to know everybody that you're playing with. We had a young defensive line. You know, we returned almost the whole defensive line. We had bust in the secondary early on. You know, they got that fixed. So it was just a meshing point that we figured out how to play with each other, and that helped a lot.
All right, so how are you going to build on all the lessons you learned last year to apply towards your sophomore season this year?
Big thing, don't get mad at one mistake. You know, it's going to happen. But pick the younger guys up, get them speed of the game, get them ready, and just feed off each other.
All right, you kind of segue me into my next question. Now that you're a sophomore, how are you embracing that role as a leader? And how are you going to be a leader for these incoming freshmen to kind of catch them up to this level of play?
Right. Well, same thing for me. Last year we had Keyshawn, Nick, Shump. All those linebackers taught me. They got me in quick, you know, got caught up to the speed of the game. So that's all I can try to do for the linebackers, the freshmen coming in, and everybody else on the team. We have a really veteran defensive line, so that's going to help. They going to be good. They were really good at the end of last year. Good defensive line always helps linebackers and safeties. So just letting them know what I was taught last year and just trying to help them the best that I can.
And I know a lot of things in life are uncertain right now, but what are your expectations this season?
To win all 6 games. I mean, can't play for a national championship. I don't know about a state championship, but I know we're going to have the team, we're going to have the talent to do what we want to do. We just have to get out fast like we didn't last year, you know, started off slow. We just got to be ready week 1 and go from there.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow is what we anticipate, what we work for, what we want to improve. At Itawamba Community College, we offer the courses, pathways, and the training that can help turn your vision of tomorrow into a reality. So why wait? Your tomorrow can start today at Itawamba Community College. The best start here.